Good evening, YouTube. It's me, Radio George Page, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, I want to give a shout out to my brothers, We Used to Watcher, Exeguchi23, the coach, and also my sister, Miss Fishiana. As you know, we are fans of wrestling, not wrestling, wrestling, Rasslin, with the apostrophe, you know, and, and that is just real. We grew up on that real wrestling, wrestling. But anyway, I saw this news this afternoon, and it's just some sad news that we lost another legend in the sport of wrestling. And it wasn't that long ago we just lost the great Mr. Paul Orndorff, aka Mr. Wonderful, and now we lost another wrestling legend, Mr. Robert Lee Eaton, or better known as Beautiful Bobby Eaton. Now, as you know, he was part of one of the greatest tag teams around. If you grew up like I did, he was part of Midnight Express. And, it was started off, it was him, it was Dennis Cordry, aka Loverboy Dennis, and also Sweet Stan Lane. And they were managed by Jim Cornette. And that was a great tag team. Now, Bobby started out his career in 1976, and he wrestled for mostly around the South in his organizations like this. And right here with Jerry King Lawler. I mean, that's old school, And, he was under other names. He called himself Lord Robert Eaton or Sir or Earl Eaton, Earl of Eaton. I mean, he went by different names. He had like a look at the little suits like that. But after a while, he became a part of a tag team. Actually, it started with three tag team, but then one of the guys left, and then they created the Midnight Express. Now, one time he was wrestling with Bill Dundee, and that's a legend also. And him and Dennis Cordry was the Midnight Express. That was, I remember people who I grew up with, I remember them, but sometimes you forget for a while. And, they had several tag teams, had tag titles, several different organizations from NWA, AEW, Smoky Mountain. I mean, South Atlantic Wrestling. I mean, it's just the records they did. But eventually, Cordry left the group, and then he went on his own, and then they picked up Sweet Stan Lane. And you can always remember the name, Sweet Stan Lane. I mean, and him and Stan did about the same thing. They're dominant for a good part, and they had the rivalries with the Rock and Roll Express, and around about the good part of the 80s. And, they had held several tag titles in different organizations and even been champions multiple times. And Bobby, at one point in his career, was also, he always had some small organizations and held single titles, but he'd always been more of a tag guy. Now, in 93, he joined up with WCW, and there he became a tag team partner to one with Mr. Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson, the Andersons, and, legendary member of the Four Horsemen, and they wrestled, quite a bit as a tag team for a good while. And then eventually, Bobby had some medical issues. He had issues with his heart. He had a heart attack, and he had to get a pacemaker. And I know how that feels. I've been through that before. It's just something. And even though after years of wrestling, when once WCW folded, he was wrestling like in a lot of independent organizations. Him and Ricky Morton. There goes Ricky Morton and him beside him, the two blondes. I love the classic Midnight versus Rock and Roll Express rivalry. That's just classic. If you watch the classic like NWA and stuff like that. And, even he was still wrestling up till his mid-50s. And he retired after 2015. And, it's just harder for a lot of these guys to walk away from that life of wrestling, till it's time for your body saying, you can't keep it up forever. And that's been, 7 years. Anyway, he was married to Donna Dundee. And Donna Dundee was a daughter of Bill Dundee. And they were married quite a while. They had 3 children. And Donna passed away a month before he passed. And, it's just often I hear that sometimes a man, love a woman so much, he can't live without her. And I think this could be his, he had a broken heart. That was a woman he loved. They were together for a long time, had children. And think about it, it's being a professional wrestler is tough on a relationship. Sometimes there's so many that get divorced because of the traveling and all that stuff and all this other stuff that comes with it. But they were together for quite a long time, And even after he wasn't wrestling anymore, he still went to conventions and stuff like that, to sign autographs and, say hi to his fans. I mean, that's just classic, Here he is, you see Sweet Stan, you see him, there's a Ricky Morton, there's, I think is that Luthez in front? Who's the guy in there? I think it's Luthez, I'm not sure. But, these are just guys I grew up with watching as a kid. Some great legends, I mean, And, Bobby, well, he had an issue, was hospitalized a few days before his passing. And, his sister, Debbie Eaton, right now has not, she posted that posted about her death of her brother. And there's no details of his death, but, it's just sad to hear this legend, Now, he may not have wrestled in a lot of the bigger organizations like, WWE, or WF, whatever it was. But he's been around, and you who are truly fans of wrestling would know him. Wrestling, you know. And it's just sad to hear we lose a legend like this. Just not that long ago, we buried, they buried Mr. Wonderful, and now it's Beautiful Bobby. And to Bobby Eaton, you are beautiful, and you'll be missed, sir. You'll be missed. This is me on the Ray George page. Don't like, subscribe, don't subscribe. I'm out.